I've had an abnormal amount of problems producing this video today. Like, this is my fourth or fifth take. Uh, the previous version, which was my perfect version, got deleted. The first part of it, I'm not sure everything I said in it was actually what I said. That means I really need to get this message out. So, before I continue, I need to make it clear that when I was working at Get Scared Kids, they were told everything which was going on. They did not want to be aware of what was going on because they thought they could make money, and so they kept pushing me into all these very dangerous situations, and that's what the profit incentive does. Now, the reason why the military-industrial complex in the United States is such a big problem is because they do not have something called the theory of responsible government dictating how the voice of the people ends up in actions at the highest system. So the theory of responsible government, it's something which is unique to the Westminster system. Well, it might be in other systems, but it's best known for that. And it's how we end up having votes. Then we have candidates. They vote, whatever. But most of these nations which have this Westminster system also have first past the post voting. So, and that means that private interests do not have the same level of power over our system because the amount of money which is needed for an election is much less in Australia and Britain, Canada, and New Zealand. Now that's four of the Five Eyes countries. The fifth country is the United States, and they're currently running the show. And they are held together through, their political system is held together through money and the military-industrial complex. We keep ending up in these wars slightly as a result of them these businesses needing to be able to keep producing shit. They need to keep making their war toys. And it's not necessarily a simple case of Lockheed Martin making a phone call to their local senator and saying, hey mate, can you get a war in Afghanistan? Like, we've got these really sick fighters and they're pretty sick, man. You're going to want to have a couple. Can you just get a war so we can justify selling them to you? We'll give you $1 million in your next election. Sure, mate. Yeah, whatever. No problem. It's a bit more complex than that. It's a network of incentives will get people doing these things without necessarily being conscious of what they're doing. Or they might realize it, but they understand that if it's not them doing it, someone else is, because it's just the incentives at play. It's the system, and the person is just a conduit for this system. They just happen to be there at that point in time. If it's not them, it's going to be some other candidate. And that's how we have these problems scale as large as they do. So the United States needs to keep buying these war toys. So the senators keep getting elected. And Australia keeps being drawn into this problem. And it wasn't always this case. And my proposal is that we cut the Americans out of Five Eyes. We don't need them. We have more in common with our other partners in the organization. Our militaries are structured the same way. The Americans have a very differently structured military. It's built around what's called Fordian principles. So the same way a Ford factory works, where they have all these people who do these very specific jobs, our military is built in contrast to that, where we have a lot of very intelligent people who are capable of doing many different tasks. And so because of this, we're able to move people around. And we see this with the same thing with how our intelligence services are structured. MI5 and MI6 are the predecessors of ASIO and ASIS. We've built off the same systems that the British have. Our parliament, our system is more similar. And culturally, we're more similar. And we're a lot less corrupt. Yet we've decided to put the most corrupt and morally degenerate system in charge of our national defense policy. We're currently buying submarines from the United States, which we're never going to get. We have gone to 3 different wars where our people have died. for no tangible benefit that we had no business in being in. Like this is a serious thing. People are dying. People have died, and people are going to keep dying if we keep this arrangement together. And it's not just the financial things at the moment with projects such as AUKUS. The other thing is that they need us more than we need them. Australia has a very important signals base called Pine Gap in the middle of our continent. And that is so important because of the way radio signals travel. We get to hear a lot of stuff that other nations can't hear. They're going to have to work with us whether they like it or not. So they will give us intelligence. And more than that, a lot of the capabilities that the United States had that we worked with them for in the past, well, we don't need anymore. The biggest one being satellite imaging. It used to be the case that we needed the Americans to give us intelligence about where different bases were, where different things were, because they were the only ones who had really good military satellites. That's not the case anymore. We can actually get that intelligence from the private sector. There are people who are just building rockets and sending up telescopes into outer space. You can actually pay for this service privately if you like, and our government could if they wanted as well. So my point is, we need out of this alliance. They're directing us to do really dodgy things, and yeah, people have died. Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop buying American war toys and supporting their military-industrial complex. Let's kick them out of Five Eyes, and let's start buying British and European equipment, if not our own. Right? Have a lovely day, everyone.